Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's activity, which is the Career Crash, another episode of the Career Crash course. I'm Brenda Maceda. I'm an accountant from Davao City, and I will be your host for tonight. Am I loud or am I clear? Can you give a thumbs up if I'm coming in well? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tonight's activity is brought to us by CCG Philippines, a leadership search and development organization where we empower, train, and develop people to be uh, for entrepreneurship and holistic success. In this community, we empower people to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. And tonight's activity, we will tackle the wise part and we will be discussing a book. It's simple but not obvious. But before that, um, I would just like to make some reminders that for better sound quality, we will be muted. But however, I will encourage you to use the chat box to type in your name. So for better engagement, so we know each other. And for any questions or comments or queries. And since we are also live in Facebook, I would like to also welcome those in the Facebook. So I cannot see you here in the Zoom, but you can type in the comment section of the Facebook account. Okay, what else? For better engagement, I would like to encourage you to please put on your video. Okay, and also after our sharing for tonight, there will be a breakout room so we can have we can meet or have a chit chat with our friend in a smaller room. And what else? Okay. So before I will introduce to you our speaker, I would just like to read some comments in the chat box. Uh, hello, everyone. Uh, from Chad and Jovi De Loreto. Good evening, everyone. From Cavite, Chad, a software engineer, and Jovi, an entrepreneur. Also, hello from Sabina Santos, a student from Marikina City. Okay, also from Rich from Quezon City. Okay. Um, Before I will introduce our speaker, uh, I will still read some comments. There are still other coming. Okay, from Lauren Sablan, a student also from Las Piñas. Okay, we have a lot of younger generation tonight who are also excited to hear our book talk. Okay, so I will not take much time for our book sharer. Our topic for tonight is from a book. It's simple, not obvious. Actually, in life, there are so many things that are really simple but very effective. And we are so fortunate for tonight because our book sharer not only will share us about this book, but she has personal knowledge of the author. So we're in for a treat because she has a personal knowledge of the book itself and the author itself. So we can have a direct knowledge and information from the book. So our book sharer is not only sought after speaker here in the Philippines, but also internationally. He is a co-founder of CCG Philippines and a very respected leader of our community, our very own beautiful Miss Olivia Bernabe. Good evening, Olive.
Thank you and maraming salamat, Brenda, for a very crisp and complete introduction. Welcome to everybody. And alam nyo, tonight is a special book. Although this is particularly about our industry, the principles in this book are applicable to anybody in life, to any industry, to anyone out there who wants to be a winner. When you have the brain of a person like Jim Dornan, who was endowed by God with so much intelligence and wisdom and humility, and he puts all of his 40 years of experience in a book. Wow, that's special. And we miss Jim today. He passed away, but in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. But he lives on through many, many audios and videos, and particularly through this book. 40 years of experience of a multi millionaire who owned multiple homes, who owned a jet, and all of that coming from the success that he experienced building our business. So you can apply these principles anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world, and in any industry in the world. So I would like to move on and not really take the whole time, but it is a big book. But I'm going to just kind of talk about two aspects that he talked about that really, really made a difference. And the first is he talks about the enemies of our business, or you might say the enemies of success. Now, many of you are part of our business community already, but again, this is going to be a generic talk. I might talk about certain examples in our business, but he's got about 8 points to why this business, what are the real enemies. Now, when we talk about our business and we're thinking about enemies, oh, our enemies are the other businesses out there that come and go. They create a very bad image of our industry. Or they're the other supplement brands, they're the other beauty brands. That's our enemies. And we perceive enemies to be like that. But our enemies in building this business that we need to overcome are actually inside of us. They're not outside. Let's take a look. The 8 enemies of our business, according to Jim. So let's take a look. The first is called pride and ego. Pride and ego. Okay, what is pride? Well, it's a feeling like you're better than everybody else. You know more than anybody else. You're more intelligent than anybody else. And an ego is that thing that you protect so much because you don't want it to get hurt. That's why when you join our business or you begin a new career in whatever it is that you do, and you're a beginner, we say you need to put your ego in your pocket. You've got to forget about your success and experiences in the past, because the past has nothing to do with this business and has nothing to do with your future. Learn to put your ego in your pocket. Learn to be able to apologize when you've done something wrong. Learn to be able to know your faults and admit that they are faults and try to find ways to correct them. Practice humility, humility, and it's really kind of hard to get rid of the ego, because many of you are already successful outside, right? You've already achieved some levels of success. Some of you are bosses, you've got your staff, some of you are successful in your business. You have a lot of clients, you have a lot of patients as a doctor, and so you have a big ego. And it's hard to shrink that ego back into beginner mode. And that's the reason why so many people don't make it, because their ego can't take something called rejection. Ego can't take the learning new ideas, humbling yourself to admit that I don't know anything. That's the number one enemy. The number two enemy is doubt and confusion. You
Did
see
you, excuse me, Miss Olive, are you sharing on a
a
slide?
slide? Yeah, yeah, wait just a sec. Did you see the first slide?
No, yeah.
Oh, nobody saw the first slide, the ego?
Yes.
You saw it. Okay.
We were
No,
not able, no, we
no,
were not able
Oh,
to
there
see.
now. Can you see it now?
that's the
Yes.
second one.
Yeah.
No, the pride and ego.
No.
Nakita.
No, no, no.
Oh, you don't see it. Oh my, sorry.
First,
Thank you for that, Ariel, and calling my attention. My tech support here will figure it out. So going back to the ego, learn to put your ego in your pocket. Learn to just next. Okay, doesn't bug me. You know, that kind of attitude. So the first slide actually talked about pride and ego. There are 8 enemies that our founder of Network 21 talked about. And after 40 plus years before his passing, he put this all in the book. So we're trying to figure out what happened to the slides. Okay, may slides to. Okay, just give me a minute there. Oh, I didn't know we were missing that. I don't want you to look at me. I want you to look at the slides. Okay. Now, I have had lots of people in the past, well, not really lots, but because of their ego, they could not move on in the business because of a very strong and established ego. That was their stumbling block. Can you see it now? The slide, Brenda?
Yeah, yes, we can see it
Okay.
now.
So we're going to move on to the second slide, which is doubt and confusion. This is an enemy. As I said, all the enemies are in your head. It's in your head, it's in your heart. It's this business is built 6 inches between your head. Okay. Now, there are many reasons for doubt and confusion. But I talked about this many times that there were two dogs talking in our brain. There's a black dog that tells you what makes you think you can do this? What makes you think you can succeed? Remember when you were in grade 1, you failed your first exam and everybody laughed at you? What makes you think you can dream? And you have that self-talk coming into you every day. And there's that white dog. Okay, and the white dog has an opposite story. You know what the white dog says? You're good, you're pretty good. Remember the time that you won the spelling bee when you were in grade 5? Remember you had a bunch of really good loyal friends, and they loved you, they loved being around you. Do you know that your family loves you and they're so proud of you? Wow, I mean, you can do this. And the black dog and the white dog are fighting in your brain all the time. They're always fighting and they're fighting. The black dog is there to create your doubt and confusion. And when you are confused, guess what? You cannot move. You cannot lift one finger to make one text. Your mind is so messed up with all these cobwebs from the past, the baggages from the past, the baggage of failure. Okay, so this is an enemy. The question is, there's the black dog, there's the white dog. Which dog are you going to listen to? It's totally up to you. See, you are an independent business owner. You listen to what you want to listen. I, from day one, have always listened to the white dog. I think you know my story. My husband was very negative. I was sleeping with the enemy. He printed so much stuff on the internet to discourage me. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? These people are sour grapes. They never made any money. I'm not interested. I'm not there. I don't want to read what they have to say. I'm interested to learn from successful people. And that's the reason I attended Network 21. So you actually dilute your doubt and confusion by attending events, associating with the 8 p.m. habit, the CCG community, meeting up with your team, and getting your ticket for the Connect this Saturday. The next enemy, okay? Right, won't move. Jealousy and comparison. You know, when you look at the 10 commandments, we were just reflecting on the 10 commandments the other morning during our prayer time. And one of the deadly sins, and a sin is do not covet Do not covet someone else's whatever it is, not just their wife or their husband. But this sin of jealousy is a sin. It's the work of the devil. It's very, very true. I mean, we all have that inside of us. It's human nature. But to move up, to move ahead in our business, and to move up spiritually, we have to rise above this jealousy thing. We have to try to find our happiness with the success when other people succeed. You know what we say in this business? When the when the tide rises, all the ships rise up. This Saturday, there's going to be recognition, and many won't be in your team. Many won't be in my team. Okay, we train ourselves to be happy for them. Why? Because it's proof that if they can succeed, you can succeed. That's the evidence. Now, unfortunately, we have Facebook, and Facebook is not healthy in terms of creating unhappiness, jealousy, and comparison. That's why be careful when you overindulge in Facebook, because it doesn't just waste your time, but it also creates this discontentment in a negative way. This is an enemy. Let's be happy for the success of other people, especially in our business. Insecurity and fear, that's an enemy. Why are we insecure? Something happened in the past. Somebody laughed at you. A lover rejected you. I know of that. Some very, very eligible men, they never ever courted a girl again because they were rejected, and then they're forever single, insecure. You know, this thing is so real. Fear is a 7-foot dragon with green eyes, with large teeth and fire coming out of its mouth. And when you're in front of a dragon like that, I mean, you just feel the fear and you can't move. And this is an enemy. Why? Because it stops you from doing the things you need to do. Ryan in his talk said you need to go out of your comfort zone, and it is fearful. Making a call is fearful. Prospecting a person is fearful. Showing the plan is fearful. Getting rejected is painful, but we do it anyway. We do it anyway. Do you realize, friends, that when you do what you fear, it disappears? I mean, I was so afraid of the water. But when my trainer, I took up swimming lessons. When my trainer, and I didn't know how to swim, they just put a pole. When they pushed me out in the 12 feet deep pool, you know what? I just had to survive. And I overcame my fear, and I was able to learn how to swim, and I was able to join a little bit of competitive swimming. And, you know, the more you do what you fear, the more the fear will disappear. Some of you are afraid to speak. I'm going to push you to speak, because once you learn how to speak, the fear will disappear. It will become your comfort zone, not your discomfort zone. And you'll just get better and better, and you'll build your confidence. You know why? Because you overcame your fear. Do not, you know, every time you overcome something, your fear, you build your confidence. Do not allow this enemy to stop you from building the business. Okay, here's a story of fear. This is called Dakak, and this is Bedith. Okay, we went here on an all expense paid international trip. Sorry, local trip by Amway. And I said, you know, this is a zip line. I had never ridden a zip line, and it looked pretty okay from down. But when you go up, it's really scary. It's fear clutching every pore of your body, and your heart is pounding. You know, I am going to ride that down. I'm going to ride in a string. And I, you know what? I just told myself, I'm not a chicken. I'm not a chicken. I can do this. And I'm so glad I did. And Bedith was much braver than me. So that's me. And they're tying me up to for the jump. The zip line, it's not a jump, it's just a zip line. And you know, I was asking them, Sigurado ba kayo? Matibay to, hindi ako mahuhulog dito, baka maputol to. Ma'am, wala pa hong napuputol dyan. Sigurado kayo ha? Ang kulit ko talaga because I was so afraid. And there I go, making the cold diamond sign. I'm brave. I'm going to ride a zip line. And that's like how many stories high? And now they're going to push me out. I didn't even use the Superman. That's scary. The Superman like that. I just rode the rope. And actually, my husband, my late husband, was with me all the way here. There, there. So sabay kami, and we were both so afraid. I think I was like 100 times more afraid than Ernie. Ernie doesn't have that fear. Remember, he jumped off the Cagayan de Oro bridge, and I chickened out. So I'm really a chicken. And there we are. We actually zip line, but we were just hanging. We didn't go upside down or whatever. We didn't do Superman. Okay, next. Another enemy, inconsistency and impatience. All right. The harvest is in another season. You plant, you toil. You toil, you plant, you fertilize, you water, you make sure the sunshine is right, and then you harvest. The thing with our business is it is not a kind of a job deal where you join a company and then you get paid after 2 weeks. That is not the way business works. Do you know that the founder of McDonald's, for 5 years, he never made any money? He actually made his first profit after 5 years. So we need to understand that there is a delayed gratification aspect to our business, and that we need to remain consistent and persistent and focus on our dream and doing the work that we need to do every day. And that doesn't just go for our business, it's for any business. If you own a coffee shop, if you're trying to lose weight, it's or you have a dress shop, you have to be consistent, persistent, and you have to stick around to get the results. Next. Right. Dishonesty and selfishness. Again, the 10 Commandments. So let's go back to the 10 Commandments. Um, yeah, thou shalt not bear false witness. Okay. And I'm not here to give you a biblical lesson. I'm just talking about how people should live their lives, because that's the way. We don't want to be cheaters in this world. We want to have that integrity that when we say something, we do it, that our thoughts, our actions, and our speech, our words, our thoughts, and actions are all aligned. Now, how can you be dishonest in this business? Oh, many ways. You can talk to people and over exaggerate the product. This is going to cure your cancer. That's being dishonest. We don't make those claims. Or you're going to make 100,000 overnight. That's dishonest. And there are many, many things that we can exaggerate. That's it's not a lie, but it's exaggerated. It's still being dishonest. And it's also being dishonest to your upline and to your downline. Many, many instances. Think about it. But people who are dishonest, they don't build big businesses because they're thinking of themselves. They're thinking of themselves. They're thinking of themselves and how it will benefit them. And other people may not know, but God knows, and you know. And at the end of the day, the Lord, judges you for how dishonest and selfish you are. And so let's be uh, unselfish. Let's be generous. Let's be, like what I said, happy for the success of other people. And it's so wonderful that in our business we say, you know what, you can't succeed in this business unless you help other people succeed first. And so, no matter how selfish you are, if you keep all the secrets of our business to yourself and you don't teach anybody, oh, these are my secrets, I'm never going to tell anyone, this is how I made 1 million pesos a year, then you will have a very small business, because our business is structured in such a way that the more people you help, the more unselfish you are, the more money you make. Now, those are and eto pa pala, entitlement and ungratefulness. Oh, wow. You know, it's a good thing that every night when we pray, we get together as a family and we pray. And we pray to the Lord, Lord, we are very grateful for the following things. And we enumerate all the things that we are grateful for, including we were able to eat yummy lunch today, you know, we were able to play with our pets, we were able to talk to prospects on the phone, or we were able, yeah, the tiniest thing we reflect on, and let us be grateful always. Ungratefulness will cause you to have a small business. Entitlement is you feel that you're too good, you feel you want the best position in the house, you want the best seat, that you need to be served, you need special attention, you need special seating, you need special privileges, you need to be addressed in a special way. And again, we go back to numerous stories in the Bible that what our Lord was looking for and is looking for is servant leadership, to serve and not to be served. And that's how you build a very big business. Now we're going to move on to, remember, this is a book. Okay. Distraction and discouragement, another enemy of our business. All right. Nako. Now, distraction. Well, distractions are very, very obvious. I mean, you have an accident, God forbid, you get distracted. And we're not saying don't get distracted. It happens to the best of us, okay? You get sick, you get distracted. Someone in your house gets sick, you get distracted. You get a promotion, you get distracted. The boss orders more work, you get distracted. Distracted is what we have all the time. And there are countless lessons, examples of being of distractions. But you know what? This is what the founder of our industry said. And this is absolute in any kind of business that you're in or any endeavor that you're in. She said, you can have success or you can have results. I'm sorry, you can have this, you can have excuses or you can have results. You choose, but you can't have both. You can't have both. You keep your excuses or you dump it and find your success. Discouragement. Let me tell you a quick story. Nancy's favorite story. A long time ago, there was a rumor that the devil is going out of business and he is selling his tools to whoever bids the most for them. One night, he opened doors to his customers and showcased all his tools: hate, jealousy, fear, deceit, and many more. But somewhere in a dark corner of the room was a very, very old, harmless, and worn out object, looking as if it had been used throughout eternity. It had the highest price. Okay. So somebody asked the devil what that instrument was and why was it so expensive. The devil said that instrument is discouragement. It is the most expensive tool because it is the one I use on most people. When nothing else works, I can enter slowly in their minds and hearts, and nobody notices. Once I'm there and get them discouraged, I can do whatever I want with them. They become so weak. No, I can do whatever I want. This tool is so worn out because I've been using it since the dawn of humanity and it works with everybody. Very few people know this tool belongs to me. When they get discouraged and lose hope, they think it's them to blame. Other people or the world around them to blame, laughed the devil. People hit obstacles in life, they encounter problems, but when they get discouraged, when they lose hope, that's just me doing my job. Hmm, something to reflect about, huh? Next. The 9 misconceptions of this business. This is another chapter of the book, and we'll try to go quickly so we don't go over time. The first misconception: networking is not a real business. Okay, so we've heard this because for many people, networking, a real business has an office, it has a store, it has employees, it has overhead, it has blah, 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 blah. And because our business has no overhead, has no employees, has no additional electricity, and we can work from home, it doesn't sound like a real business. But our business did 8 point something billion US dollars a year in 100 plus markets all over the world. I mean, if you don't call that a real business, I don't know what is. Next misconception: this is how you test a real business. Does it, number one, does it offer a quality product? Check. Does it have a track record of profitability? Check. That's us. Does it have staying power? 60 plus years? Check. Does it appeal to many people? Check. Everybody loves to be healthy, look young, and have energy. Does it fill a need in the marketplace? Are you kidding me? And what a need, a very strong, strong need today, especially with the pandemic. Next. Next misconception: your circumstances matter. It's a misconception. Why? I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too busy. I'm too shy. I don't talk. I'm introverted. I didn't graduate from high school. I'm poor. I'm rich. I'm very educated. Blah, 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 blah. You know, I was just listening to that talk of Mike, and this is what he said: it is impossible for you to fail our business. Impossible. Why? If you go to a court of law, a legal court, and you bring your evidence to prove that you will fail in this business, and you think of all the evidence you can find out there and you bring it to court, it will all be kicked out because they will all be inadmissible as evidence. Because if you say, I am too young, there are many people who are young who have succeeded. I'm too old, there are many old people who succeeded. I'm uneducated, there are many uneducated people who've become diamonds. I am too educated, there are PhDs like Porn Tip of Thailand, who's become very, very successful, and she's like a PhD, super intelligent. I'm too shy. There's so many people shy and introverted, just like this son of mine beside me, 100% phlegmatic. Mike is also very phlegmatic.
Dave Dornan.
Dave Dornan, phlegmatic. You know, I need to be a leader. I need to have this strong personality, and that is going to be thrown out the courtroom because your circumstances do not matter. That's a misconception. Next. Your past determines your future. Absolutely a misconception. Your past has nothing to do with your future. Your future starts today when you make a decision. Your past has nothing to do with it. If you try to build a business and be successful in a business, whether it's a coffee business or a dress shop business or a catering business or this business, and you have your baggage of your past behind you, you can't move forward because the baggage is so heavy at your back. It has nothing to do with your future. You just cut the ropes that bind you in the past And tomorrow, today is a new day, and everything is in your hands. Next, to succeed, you must get in early. Oh, we talk about this a lot. This is not about who comes in first. This is not who's in the right position. You can join the business 5 years from now and have the biggest business in the whole Philippines. Okay. And it's the same with medicine. There are some doctors who are very, very young and they make more money than the older consultants. The same with law. There are some lawyers who are younger than the older lawyers, and they make a ton of money more. So it's not about when you joined or when you started something. It's what you do when you start. If you start a business and you watch TV and twiddle your thumb, then obviously nothing's going to happen. But what do you do when you get started? Do you have the work ethic when you get started? Do you have a goal when you get started? Are you willing to allocate time for your business and have a vision, a compelling vision of what you want to achieve in a few years? So it's not about who comes in first. Next, successful people would never be interested. Oh, we talk about this in our new ABO orientation. For those of you who are not part of our industry, uh, we teach people how to create and diversify their income, develop second, third income streams using an online business model. And many people think that because it could start as a small business, and all businesses start small for your information, then maybe successful people would never be interested. No, that's a misconception. I always tell the story about the guy in Indonesia who owns oil wells. And everybody asked him, "You already own oil wells. Why in the world are you still building another business?" And he said, and it's true, one day my oil well will run out. It's true. We were in Dubai. And you know what they were telling us there? Their oil wells are running dry. That's why they're now changing to the tourism industry, not the oil industry. So he's wise. One day, my oil well will run dry. But people who are shopping online for basic essentials, that will never run dry. In fact, it will continue to grow over time, more and more as the population grows. So, would people be? Absolutely. One of the most successful leaders of our partner, David Dornan, in the US, makes $1 million as a doctor. And he's still a year. And he is still building this business. Why? Because he's looking for more time, not for more money. So, don't prejudge that successful people will not be interested. Oh, here's another misconception that's kind of painful, that to succeed in our industry, you need to take advantage of friends and family. Well, this is very real in the beginning, but when you get exposed to meetings and you meet people and you listen to audios and you begin to flood your brain with right information, you will realize that you're giving people a gift. You're not taking advantage of them. You're giving them a gift of hope and opportunity, two things that are so badly needed in our country today. Hope and opportunity. I was sponsored by a 22-year-old almost 25 years ago. Do you think today, after 25 years, it ever entered my brain that this person took advantage of me? And you, if you have experienced any level of reward, whether it's personal growth, money, or travel, is there any area in your brain that tells you your sponsor took advantage of you? I think the answer is no. And so, why are we thinking that we're taking advantage of friends and family? Let's overcome that misconception and understand that we're giving people hope and a gift, especially now at this time when people need opportunity so badly. Uh-oh. This one. Okay, here we go. Here's another misconception. Oh, this business. This is again all from the book of Jim. Oh, here's a misconception. I need to attend lots of meetings and buy lots of training materials. Why is it a misconception? You don't need to attend lots of meetings and buy lots of training materials. What do we say? We always say that meetings are optional but essential. Training materials such as CEP and audios are optional but essential. No one's forcing you to buy. Please never say, I was forced to attend or I was forced to buy, because that is absolutely wrong. Now, here's my little brain. This is how I thought when I was new. Hmm. Meetings are not mandatory, but they're essential. Audios are not mandatory, but essential. So here's my little brain. I want to succeed, right? And the experts tell me it's essential. So why am I going to choose not to attend and not to buy when the experts tell me it's essential? That was how my little brain worked. See, I don't have the brain of a rocket scientist. And because I was immersed in meetings and listening to audios, even today, I was listening to an audio today and getting inspired. I developed a very a mental toughness, and I fell in love with the business. I totally fell in love with the environment of Network 21. And so, was it beneficial for me? Sure, absolutely, 101%. Did I have to do it? No. Did I make a good choice? Absolutely. It's your choice, guys. We're the leaders and we're trying to lead you to the right path for you to be successful. The newest company has the best opportunity. Big misconception. The newest company is unproven, it has no track record. And if people out there, clueless people, think that the opportunity is in something new, well, this is what they're going to find out. They're guinea pigs. They're going to be guinea pigs. I don't know about you. I don't want to be a guinea pig. I would rather get involved in a business that's 60 years old, in 100 markets plus, that has never closed down, using a system that has been put together through the experience of 100 plus years of experience combined. Why would I try to join something unproven, untested, new? Why? Because it's ground floor. I'm going to make all the money. I don't think so. I'm going to lose all my money. That's the way, again, my little brain worked when I was new. Okay, misconception number 9. How many do we have? Okay, 9. Oh, this is the end. Oh, I tried to summarize it fast. I can talk and talk and talk, but there's more time for the breakout room and reflect on okay, misconception in our business, but it is to succeed in life. Okay, here's the reality. We have been wired to believe failure is bad. Why? If you go to school and the teacher looks at you, glares at you, and you're embarrassed in front of so many classmates because you failed, it's bad. Okay, you become a doctor and you do surgery like Dr. Roel and you make a mistake. You failed. when got so it's horribly bad. You're a lawyer and you go and you have a case, and now you not two ways. You fail. You're on.
We'll just wait for a while. I think Olive has some technicalities or problems with the connection. Okay, she's back. Hi, Olive. Yeah.
Right? What in our industry, it's very opposite. At what part ba ako naputol, Brenda?
Uh,
The lawyer.
yes,
Did
the
I about
lawyer.
the
Yeah.
lawyer who failed his case?
Yes, yes.
But our industry, that's very here. Don't know what's with our.
Hi, hi, Olive.
You know what we yeah, nawawala again?
Yes, nawawala.
Yeah,
Okay, I
I'm
think
getting.
yeah, you're
Am I
getting.
back? Yeah. Now am I here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear. We can hear you, but parang
Oh,
napuputol siya. I think there's some problem with the internet connection.
that's that. Putol-putol.
Yeah, now
Putol-putol.
now
And
it's better.
there's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, now I think it's better now.
Okay. You failed. Congratulations. You failed.
I yeah, I think we have some Olive has some connection problem, so we will just wait a little while before she gets back. I think they're fixing it now. Yeah, actually, it's true that the first topic on the yeah, I think she's back now. Hi, Olive, you're muted. You're
One
still
more
yeah.
sentence, and
Okay.
then we're done. You can promote. And the sentence is, if you want to succeed, here is the formula in any endeavor. You know, my husband Frank is in industrial construction, and again, uh, he can apply all of this. To be successful, you need to remain excited. Failure after failure after failure. And that's my last word before I get cut off again. Thank you. And continue to fail, but continue to learn and rise up. When you fail, you rise up and you become better. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Ollie, for that very energetic and passionate presentation. Yeah, actually, it's true that the enemies of our business is not only an enemy for our business, but it's really an enemy of our lives itself. And also, there are so many misconceptions about our business, but thank you so much for sharing with us that those are really just misconception. And there is true value and there's true value of the business that we are in, that it's not only for us but it's also a thing or a that we can share, and a gift to the others. Okay, I think we'll see if there are some questions. There is none yet. So we're here to promote for our next activity this Sunday, which is about health. So we are here in the CCG community to develop being healthy, wealthy, and wise. And on this Sunday, we will be discussing about how to be healthy, especially in this pandemic state of our health. So we would like to invite you for this Syndrome X, how to stay metabolically healthy, brought to us by none other than our speaker, Rico Santos, a family medicine and weight management coach. Okay, so would like to invite you
Okay,
to
if
attend for
I
that.
may, see it,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, please, Olive.
Brenda, uh, during this Syndrome X talk, this is very preparatory for something we are going to launch. So on Sunday, I'm just going to talk very briefly about CCG Optimal Life. It's going to be a program for holistic health and well-being. And we're going to have a program for addressing issues that are nutrition based, like high blood pressure, weight management, and sugar, diabetes. And we're excited about it because we're on the preventive mode, not the curing mode. So I'll make a short announcement about what's going to happen as we launch CCG Optimal Life program. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so excited to hear and to know about that. So not only CCGPH, but CCG Health Program. Okay, so do we have any other announcement? I think for the July 17 and 21 Connect. Ryan, do we have a slide, a poster for that?
Yes, just give me a moment, Brenda.
Okay, okay. Okay, while waiting for Ryan, I think we learned a lot from the sharing of Olive. So maybe in our chat, in our breakout room later, we can discuss some of them. Okay, here it is. The N21 Connect is July 17, 2021. So we encourage you to attend to this meeting because this will give us a lot of information about our business and we will learn more about it. So we have our speakers. We have yeah, three speakers. Of course, we have our very own Ryan Fernandez, Founders Diamond Philippines, and Pete Matz, a crown from USA, and also Founders Emerald from Malaysia, Neotech Leong. Okay, so see you on July 17th, Saturday. Please, you can start registering now uh, before up until July 16. So better early than being late. Okay.
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Do we still have other?
No, that's
Nano?
it. Just the
Okay.
breakout rooms.
So I think that's end our presentation for tonight. So thank you so much. We will be going to our breakout room. So thank you so much, everybody, and stay safe, healthy. Good night.